In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to create simple pliers using Onshape. So let's begin. We need to start with a center line. So I will choose the plane. I think I will use the top plane in this case. If I right-click on the top plane, I can view normal to, and that squares it up. This tool right here is the construction toggle, meaning I can draw something for construction lines, and that would be helpful in this case. So I'm just going to draw a horizontal line, roughly 6 inches, 6.5 inches long. Now I'm going to turn that tool off, and I'm going to draw a circle on that line. Now this circle should be a common size. So in this case, I'm going to smart dimension it and make it, let me escape that and do that again. I can always zoom in, and I'm not zooming in. There we go. How about 1/4 of an inch, 0.25? That way we can put a pin in there. I might as well dimension this too. That I want it around 6. And maybe the distance from here to here is going to be 1.5. These numbers are just arbitrary, just to demonstrate how to keep it fully defined and creating an original pair of pliers. So now that center line is important. That is going to be the pivot point where our pliers would have a pin through, and this would be 1/2 of those pliers. So the most simple I think I could possibly do would be something like this. Now notice what happens here. I'm crossing the center line. This is very important. I don't like to have a pointy end. And that is kind of what we're attempting to get. The key elements here are that the circle is on the center line. There is looks like I'm missing a straight line here. There is the jaws line up with the center of the circle. Now, these pliers are going to be symmetrical, meaning we just have to design 1/2 and put them together. That is not complex, okay? But this shape is the beginning of that. We could make this on an angle and make 2 individual halves of our pliers to make them open and close without being identical. But the simplest, not complex, is something like this. And now I will extrude it. Again, this is not the best way to, what should I say, get a high score or a good grade for the pliers. This is just the basic. So I have something like that. Now we can see how that works. I can go to an assembly. I can insert my pliers twice. Oh, I tend to do that a lot for some reason. Check mark. Okay, this one we can rotate by clicking on it, and here's this rotate we can move this up, we can move this down, we can move it left, we can move it right, and we can rotate with these little handles. Just want to get it close. It doesn't have to be exact. And if I wanted it exact, I guess I could go type in 180. Okay, I'm going to do 2 mates here. First mate is going to be, I'm going to do the cylindrical mate of this cylinder. Notice the little Pac-Man shape thing, that icon. We don't want to accidentally get this cylinder or click. We want it to be located on, and I really like to have the cylinder, not the face. So let's zoom in and make sure we get the cylinder there. So that took a little bit of wiggling my mouse to get that there. And now those are mated, and now we just have to mate 2 faces. So we will do a planar mate. I'll do this top face and this face. Check mark. And you can see what we have here. To make this move, I can move these, but the whole thing moves, so I need to fix one of them. I'm going to right click on one of the halves and fix. That way now I can, well, these aren't really good pliers. They're ugly, they're not very functional, and they're extremely simple, not complex. So now let's go back and edit this a little bit. Those didn't really work as pliers, so I'm going to do a new sketch on this plane. I'll go about there. Oops, I missed that, so let's turn off that tool, click on this, delete, and redraw. And also I want to fatten my handle a little. So I just did this sketch here and this sketch here, and I'm going to extrude those. And you can see I want to extrude them the same width that I did before, which is 0.3. And that's a pretty good, still ugly, but now this will update in our assembly. And you can see here that now this one's fixed. Or there's a little bit more meat. Our plier jaws match up and the handles are a little thicker. I could do a lot of work in here. I don't need, that opens that big. I could change in here. I could do a lot of other things, but that is the most basic, simple way to make a pliers. And you can take it from there and be creative and more complex. And since this project is related to a multi-tool, I could somehow have more features in here. I could have something that opens up from the handle. I could have cutters on the jaws of the pliers. Oh, I see. I was looking at what I did wrong, and I made that last extrusion. In the first one, I made it. Let's edit that. I made it 0.3, but in the first extrusion, it was 0.25. There we go. Now this should make it look a little bit, yeah, they line up better now. Okay. Very simple, not complicated. I want more than this, but that is the very basic shape or design of making very simple pliers. And you can see I have interference right here. So I'd want to clean this up, change that shape. And that's enough for this video.